today we are back with another Pomchi DIY, and I'm going to start by asking you if you have ever had a sticker or stickers that you have never used because they're your favorites. Once you stick them, they're stuck. You know what I mean? So today I'm actually going to show you how to turn your favorite stickers into button pins, keychains, necklaces, etc. Just like this one here. So let's get right into it. Roll the intro. Welcome back to the Pomchi Pack, everyone. If you are new here, welcome. If you hear a bunch of noise outside, it's because it's extremely windy here in Idaho, as usual, so please ignore it. If you are new, I highly suggest that you consider subscribing. We do inexpensive DIYs, product reviews, and unboxings, as well as other crafts. And help us get to 1,000 subscribers. We are so stinking close. We just hit 850 today, so we're getting there. Now, I'm gonna start today's video by asking you a question. Have you ever had a sticker that like you've never used but you love it, but you don't use it because once you stick it, it's stuck? You know what I mean? I have a solution for that today, and I'm so excited to share it with you because I have a lot of stickers that I don't use because of this fact. So I'm going to show you how to turn your favorite stickers into button pins, keychains, necklaces, earrings, anything you want. So we will start off by listing all of the materials and things that you will need for today's project. Here are the items that you will need for today's project. If it is applicable and if I can find the links to these, I will be putting them down in the description box below. That's specifically for the resin kit and for the shrinky dink paper. I'm going to be converting this one right here. And if you guys are wondering about EDS or ehlers-danlos, you guys can check out my sister channel right up here, Dray of Sunshine, where I talk about my health conditions and what they are. Check that out. But this is going to be the sticker that we are doing today. I got it from a shop. I'll put her shop right here. She's super sweet. Her name is Mana. She makes the cutest little stuff. That's also where I got this little sticker. She makes a bunch of decals and vinyls. Number 4, you will need a copier that you can resize your stickers. We will want to turn this tiny sticker into this right here because the shrinky dink paper will shrink, obviously. You will need a small hole punch if you plan to do a necklace or a keychain, anything that requires a little hole in it, you'll want to have a small hole punch. Last one is E6000 industrial glue or just super glue if you plan to do like a pin like this, where you have to glue on the pin back. Make sure that you order it in clear and not black like I did, because the one that I'll have linked down below is this exact one that's black. So if your stickers are paperish, they don't have that waterproof coating over the top, I recommend using this Mod Podge. I will have this one linked down in the description box below as well. This is the glossy type, and you will seal your stickers before putting the resin on. I'm fairly certain that that's everything. Step number 1 is to take a copy of this sticker that you want to use and blow it up to about 250-255%. The amount that you need to blow it up will depend on the shrinky dink paper that you're using. Once you've got a copy of your sticker that looks similar to this, it is nice and large, you'll want to take a piece of shrinky dink paper, put it above it, and trace a decent border around it. I would suggest probably about 1/2 inch or at least 1/4 inch, just so that you have enough room. And if you're going to do a keychain or a necklace, be sure to leave a space at the top for the hole punch. Go around in a circle like that and then put your hole punch right there. Now, once you have this all cut out, you want to take the shrink plastic and put it on a piece of tin foil. Place it in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to leave it in there for 2 minutes. After it's in there for 2 minutes, take it out carefully, it's very hot, and immediately you want to get a flat plate or something with a flat bottom and put it on your project immediately so that you know that it dries flat. Now it is finally time to start the resin process. During this process, it's extremely important that you wear gloves and a mask. Even if you don't think that you need to, it's always better to do it than to not and regret it. Certain resins can leave chemical burns on your fingers depending on how sensitive you are and what is in the resin. So I highly recommend doing it regardless of what you think is in it. Now stick the sticker on the rough side of the plastic. Now using an X-Acto knife or scissors, you can trim off the excess if the shape is not quite right, or you can just redo it all together. But since I'm not like trying to sell this or anything or make a, perfect product, I'm just DIYing this. I'm just gonna trim it. So this is the finished product. Obviously not a perfect product because I just trimmed around the edges where it was just a little bit too much and the sizing was a little bit off, and you know what? You can redo it if you want to with another Shrinky Dink and a better tracing. But since this is just gonna be for myself, I think that this will be plenty fine as a pin. Take this Mod Podge right here, and I'm just gonna take this nail art brush. This is not what you're supposed to use. A foam brush is usually best. But I'm going to seal this sticker since I'm fairly certain that this one is not waterproof, it's just vinyled. I'm just going to do a small, very thin coat of Mod Podge on here. We're going to let this dry for a few minutes and then we're going to start the resin process. The resin that I'll be using today is a UV resin. It's linked in the description box below, as I've mentioned multiple times before. I don't get paid for it, I don't get commission, I'm just doing it for your convenience, so you're welcome. Now this Mod Podge is dry now, so now we can start the resin process. So we're gonna get just like a little cup or ramekin. It can be plastic or it can be glass like so. Make sure that it's nice and clean, no dirt or dust that could get in the resin. Now this part you want to start with just the tiniest drop, so maybe a pea-sized amount. You want to put this in a small ramekin or cup. So now we are going to start putting the resin on here. And while using a toothpick or a pin or a tool similar to the one that I'm using, which is just a nail art tool, I'm just literally using this tool to drip it on the middle. And I'm pulling it out to the edges. You don't want to do more than you need. You need to be patient, because if you do too much and you get to the edges, you'll break the surface tension and it'll start to drip over your edges, which we don't want. Just continue this process. So I've got the top domed to all of the edges here. Now I see some bubbles that I'm going to try to get out. It'll be good enough for now. Now, I also grabbed some of these out of the kit. They were in a little bundle like this, and they're these pink stars here. Now, I'm going to take some of these and put them in the resin. So I mixed in some glitter in my leftover resin. And I'm going to use this to cover up the staining underneath here. Now, while I'm working on this, maybe we should chat a little bit about my sister channel, Ray of Sunshine. I've been working on this sister channel for quite some time, and the reason why I made it was because there's a lot of miseducation and undereducation in general about the conditions that I have. I have fibromyalgia and a condition called hEDS. With those conditions, it brings about a lot of complications that aren't seen usually. When I go into a doctor and complain of all these pains, they think, oh, it's obviously made up, she looks fine, everything's fine. My friends, as much as I wish that that was true and that I could just stop, stop hurting, I can't. Because it's a real problem. It's not just in my head, it's not pretend, it's actual pain for actual reasons. hEDS is considered rare currently, but in my opinion, and through research that I've done and other articles that I've seen, many of them think that as many as 1 in every 5,000 people could have hEDS and not be diagnosed with it. And that just doesn't seem right to me. And so after getting the answers that I needed with hEDS and stuff like that, and then understanding just how undereducated all of the doctors are with hEDS, it seemed like with my experience and understanding of how to make videos and everything like that, that it was, kind of a responsibility of mine to be able to share information about the condition so that maybe other people who are looking for answers but have just kind of given into the fact that it's like nobody's ever going to understand or believe you. My intention is, however, is to help people find the help that they need, especially when they feel so misunderstood for so long. I have had this from birth, and only 2 years ago or a year ago was it ever considered to actually be a condition and not just me complaining, And that's just not right. But it's just no one had an answer for me, so it must have just been my fault. That was the conclusion that every doctor came to, it seemed. So long story short, with Ray of Sunshine, the new channel, is to be able to help people out there that might be struggling with the same thing as me. Being able to not only educate people who might be suffering with it themselves and suffering silently and not understanding what's happening like I was, also being able to potentially reach doctors and educate doctors and help them potentially diagnose people who may have it and not know. So many of us, including myself, were suffering silently because when we did say something, no one could find the cause of it. And so it just didn't exist. If they can't find a cause to it, it just doesn't exist to them. So for those of you who skipped my rant and ramble while I was working on this, welcome back. And for those of you who stayed, thank you for listening to my rant and ramble. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys want to hear my story and want to learn more. But anyways, we are back and I finally finished the top here and I added all of these stars to try to cover up the staining, and I added some glitter around the outside in the white. So now that we have the top all domed, we need to cure it. Make sure that all of your resin, everything is a decent distance away from your UV light. So make sure that all of your tools, all of your cups, everything are separate from the light so that your stuff doesn't get ruined. Trust me, I know. Now once that is cured, you're going to repeat the same steps on the back and on the edges. I will meet back up with you guys when I'm doing edges of the project and show you how I do those. So you may notice something different here. Bit of a glitter fiasco. So now we got the front and the back done. And then for this part, dab it on there and do a generous amount on the edges just so it's nice and rounded. And it's just as simple as that. So you just do that all the way around the edges. So I will meet up with you guys again when this baby is finished. So this is with the edges all sealed in. For adding it as a pin, super straightforward. For some reason, since my life is a mess, I can't seem to find the pin backs for this, so I will have to attach it later. But basically super straightforward. You get your E6000 glue right here, and you take this regular pin back, you place it in the center of your pin, glue it down, wait for it to dry, and then put the back on, and it's finished. That is it for today's DIY. If you did enjoy today's project, I highly recommend that you join us and subscribe. It is free, and we are almost to 1,000 subscribers. I am so excited. Plan to do something really exciting and awesome for when we hit the 1,000 subscribers. So be sure to stick around for that. Also, my posting schedule has been a little bit all over the place. I've been a little bit behind with Pomchi Productions and being able to get the resources that I need for the DIYs. So I highly recommend that you subscribe and click that bell right next to it, because then you will know when I have posted a new video. I do apologize, but the best way to get around that right now is just to subscribe. You do want to help support this channel and help continue to allow me to make content for Pomchi Productions. You guys can donate here at buymeacoffee.com/PomchiPack. because it does make a huge difference. You can also shop at our merch store. I'm not quite sure if everyone knows about it yet, but we do have merch at spring.com. So the link will be down in the description box below, as well as I will put it right here. If you are not sick of my face yet, you can check out my other DIYs up here. This up here is my sister channel. I highly recommend that you check it out. And that's all for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!